Hey everyone, I'm Nick and welcome back to the Cave of Collectibles. Today I'll be giving you my review of The Mandalorian Chapter 3, The Sin. If you haven't seen the reviews I've done for episodes 1 and 2, they'll be linked at the end of the video so you can click on them and watch them from there. Otherwise, like I said before, there will be spoilers in this episode. If you haven't watched it yet, go away, watch it, come back, and then you can keep watching. Otherwise, I hope you all enjoy it. As you can see, I've got Cara Dune there now from The Mandalorian as well. I know it's not a pop vinyl, but I prefer the Star Wars Black Liner figures to the pop vinyls for when I do buy something which isn't one of the more premium collectibles. And I just love the characters in the show so much, I just had to get something else for it. It's a pretty cool little figure. I'm not great at posing them, you can probably see that. It took me 15-20 minutes to work out how to get her to balance so she can actually stand up without me supporting her. So if you've got any tips on how to actually pose the Star Wars Black Line, let me know. That would be really, really appreciated. So let's get going. So far, episode 3, or chapter 3, has been my favourite episode to date by a long, long way. All the other episodes were really, really good and really, really strong, but this episode was absolutely fantastic. There is just so much to like in this episode. The Mandalorian returns to collect the bounty, out of which he makes a new set of armour to replace his old one. Now, this new set of armour looks pretty epic. It looks essentially, it reminds me of Captain Phasma's armour from the new 2 Star Wars movies. Just that bright, shining, almost chrome-like armour. It looks pretty cool and it really suits the character. And it really makes him stand out. And it lets you know that he's made it as a bounty hunter. But what I found really interesting is, even from when he first rescued the child, you could tell he was forming an attachment to Baby Yoda. You could tell that there was going to be something going on between those two. And during the second episode, and even right up to the point where he turns the child over to the Empire, or the remnants of the Empire, he's always conflicted about it. He never feels quite right about it. Generally, with the bounties that he's collected, especially what was seen being offered to him in the show, that these people have all done something wrong, that there's actually a reason he's collecting the bounties on these people. But with Baby Yoda, it's just an innocent child. It hasn't done anything wrong, and it's really, really challenging his sense of morals and his code of ethics. So he does turn Baby Yoda over to the Empire, but then he starts to get all these doubts and second thoughts. So much so that he actually goes back to rescue the child. And what follows that is a pretty awesome and brutal close quarters gunfight, where you see the Mandalorian use all the weapons, all the guns at his disposal to take out all the stormtroopers there. And you get to see his new little darts on his wrist take out about 4 or 5 stormtroopers when he's surrounded by them. And it's pretty cool, to be honest. It really, really engages the audience. It really made me go, well, this guy actually means business. He's not just a skilled hand-to-hand fighter, but he's a really, really good gunfighter as well, and he can get himself out of any situations. And he's fast becoming one of my favourite characters in the Star Wars universe. Even though we don't know too much about him, there's something which just really appeals about his character. What comes after that is pretty awesome. So the Mandalorian has rescued Baby Yoda, and then he's trying to get back to his ship, and he is surrounded by all the other bounty hunters. They've all got these trackers that allow them to know when Baby Yoda's on the move. I'm not sure what they're tracking. It could be the Metachlorian level, I've heard a few rumours say. Otherwise, how else will they track a specific individual? All these other bounty hunters come and confront the Mandalorian because essentially he has broken the bounty hunter code. He's got the reward, and then he goes back to take back Baby Yoda because he just doesn't feel right about it. So they tell him to drop the baby and get away from him, but he refuses to do that. And then you see, well, I reckon one of my favourite live-action gunfights in Star Wars to date. As good as what we're seeing in all the other movies and even in the Clone Wars and Rebels TV shows, nothing quite compares to watching a whole clan of Mandalorians fight It's incredible to just see them jump through the air and see all their jetpacks. It looks great in Star Wars Rebels, but to actually see it in live action, and you've got the super heavy Mandalorian there as well, who's pretty awesome with his big gun, just taking them all out. So essentially what happened was they ambushed the Mandalorian, all these other bounty hunters. He was pretty much done for, and then his clan came to help him and save him and allow him to escape with the child. It's such a dark and gritty gunfight, and it really sits in with the whole TV show well. The themes really suit the whole TV show and the Star Wars universe really, really well. People aren't waving around lightsabers, but there's these dark and gritty gunfights that actually mean something, that they're actually fighting for a purpose. Up until this time in The Mandalorian, we've seen him fight, but we haven't seen him fight with such conviction. You have these bounty hunters that put the bounty hunter code above all else, even above the welfare of a child, but then you've got the Mandalorian, whose humanity and sense of justice essentially has come through, and thinks that it is wrong to give this child up to the Empire when he has done nothing wrong. So this just goes beyond a gunfight for the sake of shedding blood, but it goes to a gunfight where there is a sense and code of morals and ethics at the core of it, where they're actually fighting for a deeper purpose rather than gaining some credits or gaining some money. And it just shows, it really brings out the Mandalorian's character, and probably why I like him so much, that he fights for something greater than money. That even though at the end of the day he's a bounty hunter, there is something more to him than just being a bounty hunter. There is a sense of right and wrong within him, and he can't let this child go and essentially probably die. We don't know what will happen. Each episode goes from strength to strength. Each episode is better than the last, and they're really, really building towards something big with the reveal, hopefully, of who Baby Yoda is and his part to play in the greater Star Wars galaxy. Like I said in the previous video, I'm so excited to actually see what they do with Baby Yoda and where they actually go with him, and how the relationship with the Mandalorian actually evolves, because it's becoming a father-son or relationship essentially. So he actually cares for the child, so it's really interesting. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this quick review. If you did, I would love it if you could like and subscribe. If you've got any questions, any ideas about what we can do on the channel in the future, just drop them in the comments below. But otherwise, tomorrow, hopefully, I will release my review of episode 4. And then on Friday, I've got my haul video of stuff which I got in November 2019. So there's a bit coming out this week, guys. Anyway, until the next video, take care.